Sometimes to understand right now, you have to go back in time. We're going to go back to a very specific moment, a time just before the internet really took over, when our culture was shaped by some truly strange and wonderful things. And believe it or not, this whole story kicks off with a bag of chips.
Okay, let's just dive right in. Take a look at this, a bag of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pizza-Crunchabungas. Now yeah, it might just look like another piece of 90s junk food, but I'm telling you, this bag of pizza-flavored corn snacks, it's the key. It's the key to unlocking a wild, weird, and pretty awesome moment in time.
So, to even understand why these chips existed in the first place, we gotta go back to the movie that started it all, the 1991 blockbuster, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
And here's where the story gets interesting. The first movie, back in 1990, was a huge runaway hit, but it was also surprisingly dark, and parents were not having it. They complained about the violence, the tone, everything. So when the sequel dropped just 1 year later, the studio completely caved. The Turtles got officially, well, nerfed.
I mean, just look at how much they changed. That gritty feel was totally gone, replaced with slapstick comedy. And this is the wildest part. The Turtles were basically told they couldn't use their weapons anymore. So instead of katanas and nunchucks, you have Michelangelo fighting a bad guy with a string of sausage links. I'm not kidding. The baddest ninjas around were suddenly comedians.
And it wasn't just the heroes. Even the villains were a total compromise. The studio wanted the fan favorites from the cartoon, Bebop and Rocksteady, but the TMNT creators thought they were too silly. So what was the compromise? These two, Taka and Razar. Basically the generic, store-brand version of the villains everybody actually wanted.
Okay, so you're seeing a pattern here, right? This sort of bizarre creative decision-making wasn't just for movies. Oh no, it was happening all over pop culture, especially in music.
So picture this. It's March of 1993. This song, Informer, by a Canadian artist named Snow, is the #1 song in the entire country. You heard it everywhere. Everyone was dancing to it. But did anyone have a clue what he was actually saying?
For pretty much all of us, the main lines sounded like this. Complete, catchy gibberish. Perfect for blasting from your car stereo at the mall. But that is not what he was saying. Not even close.
So get ready for this. This is the actual lyric. A detective says that he, Snow, stabbed someone down the lane. Yep, the #1 song in America, the song we were all dancing to in our living rooms, was a guy literally confessing to a stabbing. Just let that sink in for a second. An entire country was just vibing to a criminal confession, totally oblivious. And that right there, that kind of perfect mix of innocence and complete absurdity, that was the 90s in a nutshell.
All right, let's switch gears. We're going to look at another defining moment from the era. But this one isn't about what was said, it's all about how it was said, in a world that was still very, very analog.
The date is March 18th, 1995, and for months, the entire sports world has been holding its breath, just waiting for any news about whether Michael Jordan would actually return to basketball.
And this is how the world found out. No TV special, no social media post. Just 2 words, sent out to every newsroom on a screeching, scrolling fax machine. The simplicity is it's incredible. It was like an earthquake delivered on a flimsy piece of paper. And this comparison just says it all, doesn't it? You have Jordan's iconic 2-word fax versus LeBron James's 75-minute primetime TV event, The Decision. It is the ultimate showdown between the pre-internet era and the modern media machine. One needed a phone line, the other needed a whole film crew.
Okay, so we've got a watered-down movie, a misunderstood hit song, and a legendary fax. What's the thread connecting all this? Well, let's bring it all back home, right back to where we started, those Crunchabungas.
Here's the thing you gotta understand. Secret of the Ooze wasn't just a movie. Not really. It was the main event in a massive marketing campaign. And the partner right at the center of that web was Pizza Hut.
And this was their secret weapon. To go along with all the movie hype, Pizza Hut dropped the Bigfoot Pizza. A massive rectangular pizza with 21 slices. 21! It was a true icon of 90s excess.
And this quote just nails its essence perfectly. Let's be real. It wasn't about quality, it was about quantity. It was just a big, salty slab of pizza. But as a kid, carrying that giant box into a party, oh man, you felt like an absolute king. More was always better. That was the 90s way.
And you can see here, this was a whole ecosystem they built. It was way more than just pizza. The movie premiered on Showtime, and you got a discount if you bought a bag of Crunchabungas.
You bought the TMNT cereal, and you got a coupon for a free bag of Crunchabungas. It was this perfect closed loop of corporate synergy. They had you coming and going.
So let's put it all together. What is the real connection between a goofy kids movie, a dark song we all thought was gibberish, and a 2-word press release sent over a fax machine?
Well, what they show us is a really specific, fleeting moment in our culture. It was that pre-internet sweet spot, right? Media was pretty much a one-way conversation. And these huge corporate tie-ins could create their own weird, unfiltered, and honestly super memorable shared experiences for all of us.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. In today's world, with the endless stream of content, the constant noise, could a statement as simple and powerful as "I'm back" ever have that same kind of impact? Or would it just become another tweet, completely lost in the scroll?